Yo, what is going on guys and girls, Twintendo here. Today we're going to be going over the brand new Pokémon Super Mystery Dungeon trailer. Now before I start this video, special thanks to Beaster565. He let me know that the trailer came out around Friday, but I didn't have enough time to actually, make this video over the weekend, so I'm making it now. It's a couple of days late, so sorry about that. But yeah, thanks for letting me know, Beaster565, and yeah, let's jump into the video. So basically guys, I'm going to let you guys watch the trailer. It's kind of like half live action and then a bit of gameplay towards the end, and we get a few new things, which is really cool. And yeah, so you guys enjoy this and I'll be back in a little second.
ポケモンになった君が次々と起こる異変に仲間と立ち向かって世界を救う。シリーズ最大720種類のポケモンが勢ぞろい。任天堂 3DS ポケモン超不思議のダンジョン。だから罠には注意です。予約受付中。
Well, that was a bit of a weird trailer, wasn't it guys? It was kind of like Pokemon and Teletubbies mixed together. But there were quite a few new pieces of information shown, which I'm going to go over, and you probably didn't see some of these things I'm going to mention if you just watched it at once. I had to watch the trailer a couple of times to see them. So yeah, let's go into the video, and let's start breaking down this trailer. So first of all, we get to see Ho-Oh at the start. Now this is another legendary, and we all know like 720 Pokemon are in the game, so it's not surprising to see Ho-Oh. It's just a bit weird to show a legendary which you haven't shown off in trailers, as the first Pokemon you see. So it's a bit interesting. Don't know why Ho-Oh's being shown, but maybe, you get to verse Ho-Oh, or you get to team up with Ho-Oh, who knows. It's just interesting they use Ho-Oh for the first part of the trailer. And we also get to see that there's 5 Pokemon going around the forest, 5 of the starter Pokemon. And it's interesting because at first I thought, oh, there's 1 from each generation and that's why there's so many Pokemon. But I realised there's only 5. They've got 2 water types. They've got 2 from 5th generation. They're missing a few generations out. And it's weird because I don't know why there's 5 of them, because there's only originally 4 Pokemon in Mystery Dungeon parties. So I wonder if the parties are going to be expanded in this game to 5 Pokemon. That'd be really interesting to see, because I know a few of you guys have mentioned that in comments on our videos. So yeah, I mean, maybe you guys are right, or maybe it's just, for advertising purposes, they pick like 5 popular Pokemon. Who knows guys, it'll be interesting to find out later on. Get to see Giratina again. Well, I say Giratina, it's Giratina's shadow. Now, I'm still not convinced that that shadow of Giratina is actually Giratina itself, because it reminded me of when Uxie transformed to Groudon, and it turns out Groudon, it was just an illusion, like, it was just Uxie pretending to be Groudon. And I kind of get the same vibes from this, because we actually haven't seen Giratina in the flesh. We've only seen its shadow, like it's something creating this shadow to scare the Pokemon. I honestly don't know guys, comment down below what you think. Is this actually Giratina, or is another Pokemon kind of making itself look like Giratina to your main Pokemon? It's interesting, because I'm not sure if they repeat the same thing, but I don't know, it's just weird that we actually haven't seen Giratina yet. Anyway guys, we also know that apples and traps are back from previous trailers, and then we get into the good part, we get into the actual Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon gameplay, and there's quite a lot of stuff, surprisingly, to say there's a short amount of gameplay that I kind of noticed in this trailer. So first of all, we get to see a nice nighttime shot here. This isn't really the first nighttime shot, as we've seen Dialga looking at the night sky, but this is the first with the main kind of characters, so yeah, I'm going to class it as the first proper nighttime screenshot. But there are actually 2 really interesting facts about the screenshot, or this part of the trailer, that I wanted to point out to you guys. So first of all, there is the big tree that they've actually shown off in a couple of trailers, and I keep thinking, why are they showing off this tree? Is it important? And then it came to me that you're kind of on an embankment and you're looking over towards Serene Village, and it kind of reminded me of the cover of Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon, with a tree in the background, and you're kind of on a cliff or an embankment. And obviously if you when they're looking out to Serene Village, if you flip that the other way around, it reminds me of the cover, and that they're standing on the embankment and there is a tree behind them. So I'm wondering if that big tree is actually the Xerneas spirit tree that we see on the cover. Let me guys know what you think. It would technically work because the tree in that position that's on the embankment would be in the exact same place as the cover. So it's interesting. I definitely think that tree is going to be important, but we'll have to wait and see. Also, we get to see like a shooting star in the background. I'm not sure if you guys saw that first time round. Is it actually a shooting star, or is it maybe a Pokemon? Maybe Rayquaza, Deoxys? Who knows, guys? Very interesting. It's always nice to speculate about this kind of stuff, no matter how small it is. Anyway, let's move on to the next piece of information, and that is Pancham and Deerling are in the dungeon with you. If you haven't seen our breakdown video of the Pokémon Super Mystery Dungeon demo, basically Pancham, Deerling, Goomy, Shelmet, all these Pokemon, they're kind of like the kids from Serene Village, and they're basically involved in the first mission where you have to rescue Goomy. But it looks like obviously these Pokemon are with you in this dungeon that you're in, and this is actually a new dungeon. I don't think we've seen this one yet, so that's very interesting as well. But it looks like either they join your team or maybe you're escorting them around the dungeon. I don't know, but you know, honestly, because there's so many Pokemon, there's 720 Pokemon, they probably do join your team. You know, you want to get as many early on as you can because it's going to be so difficult to get all these other Pokemon to join you. And yeah, what else is really, really interesting about this is that Piplup is the only one there for a start. There's no sign of a partner. Or maybe Piplup is the partner. Maybe you're playing actually as the partner, because there's a lot of promotional, you know, images and trailers, as you guys know, when Pikachu and Piplup are the team and Piplup seems to be the partner. And that's really interesting that they're showing Piplup here. Maybe you're playing as, well, maybe Piplup's the main Pokemon here, and because at the start, you know, in the first mission, you only play as, you know, the main Pokemon. You don't have a partner with you at first. Or maybe, you know, this mission itself is actually you're playing as a partner for, I don't know what reason. There's actually a picture when it just shows Piplup, when this is the Pikachu Piplup team, just shows Piplup with Pancham, and I can't remember what other Pokemon is, probably Deerling. I haven't got a screenshot on me, so I'm just trying to remember it from memory. But basically, as you guys can see, it's got Piplup and Pancham, and it looks like they're antagonizing Piplup, making it angry, and maybe they have to go into the dungeon. I don't know why, but it'd be interesting if you actually play as your partner instead of the main Pokemon, is what I'm trying to say. So anyway guys, let's move on from that point, because I'm going to be rambling on for ages about that. So up next we get to see Fennekin and Bulbasaur. I think this might be a new dungeon, or there are a few dungeons that look similar to this, but I don't know, it just looks slightly different to me. But yeah, we get to see traps, which again, they're kind of annoying, and they look like they're in, you know, quite early on, which is a bit of a pain, but maybe they'll add to, you know, a harder difficulty, because apparently Gates of Infinity was easier than the other games, and I'd like a hard Pokemon game to say. X and Y and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, they've been pretty easy to say, you know, compared to old main games, so it'd be nice to see a difficult Pokemon game again. So yeah, it's good to see Fennekin and Bulbasaur in action. Next we get to see the Giratina. Well, we've seen this part in many trailers, but what I want to point out is that we get to see Meowstic in the party as well, and there's 5 Pokemon there, as I mentioned earlier in this video, as the party size is increased. And basically the only reason I point out Meowstic is because in our Serene Village video, if you haven't seen that, that'll be on the screen and in the description. Basically I point out that I thought I could see Meowstic on the map. There's actually a map of Serene Village. If you guys haven't seen it, definitely check out that video. It shows off a lot of new information. And like I said, I thought I could see Meowstic, I wasn't sure, but we get to see a Meowstic with, you know, Serene Village, I guess, villagers, and, you know, does that maybe, I don't know, is that proof that Meowstic is actually from the village? I don't know, it'd be really interesting. But anyway, let's move on guys. Again, we get to see a load of legendaries, you know, some different angles. So the Kyogre is from a different angle than the original trailer, nothing really new there. We also get to see, again, that Link kind of constellation Pokemon thing. I don't know what it is yet. Some guys, you say it's an affinity chart. I honestly don't know. You guys could be right. Definitely comment down below. This is the one thing I want you guys to comment on today. What is this? What is this constellation, you know, that links all these Pokemon together? It's really interesting, because I want to point out one thing actually before you guys do comment. I want to point out one thing, and that is Shelmet, Goomy and Deerling at the end of this part of the trailer are linked together. So they're all linked, and obviously they're from the same village and they all know each other. Honestly, I don't know how this works. Is it when you meet a Pokemon that, you know, you meet this Pokemon for the first time, let's just put it this way, you meet this Pokemon, and then when you check your chart, it's linked with all these other Pokemon. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like Facebook. So when you, I don't know, you add a friend, and then, you know, they got loads of friends and they're all linked. It's weird. It's something like that. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm sure some of you guys know what I mean. So yeah, definitely comment down below what you guys think this is, because I honestly don't have a clue. And the last clip we get to see, this is the most interesting part of the trailer for me. Basically, it's a really weird glowing kind of area. No idea what's going on. Part of your, like, it looks like your chest or your mouth kind of glowing somewhere around that area. And at first I thought, oh, this is when they get transported from the start selection screen, because there's a big hole when you get, you pick your partners, and it obviously looks like you jump into the world. But the thing is, you can see the Pokemon are clearly wearing their guild outfits here, the blue and green scarves, and they didn't have them in the start selection screen, which is really interesting. So maybe this takes place in the game itself, and that definitely made me more excited, because I think, what's going on? Are they being transported to another world? Are they going back in time? Is it their badges that are glowing? Are they evolving? It could be anything, guys. So if you do have an opinion on what this is, definitely comment down below. I'd love to hear your answers, and I'll definitely get back to every single comment. So guys, that is pretty much the end of the video. If you haven't seen our 2 previous videos, they'll be on screen now. The one on the left is the top 5 new features I want to see in Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon, and the video on the right is whether new Mega Evolutions will be introduced into Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon. And if you haven't subscribed already, guys, big red button on screen, you can even click it there, and it'll make Trico happy. Like I say, I always say that in the ending. I'm probably going to put another Pokemon there to make that other Pokemon happy, but yeah. Anyway guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Have an awesome day, and I will see you in our next Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon video.